everybody.
You just made that up, Sam.
I made what up?
Telling me when to go.
I kind of guess, and usually it works.
I just want to share with you all. Sam is as you all know, Sam G over here produces KP Live for us and is also co-host. And Sam G always gives me the 3, 2, 1, go when it's time for me to start talking because of the delay for the YouTube. And today I said, okay, we're starting, tell me when. And he goes like this. He goes, oh. Okay, go. Like you grabbed your phone as if you were looking and then went, okay, go.
Usually I just count to 15 and then it starts like right on time.
That is brilliant.
But I didn't know when you had started streaming.
I know, that's true.
Made up today.
You guys, for all of you viewers out there, we have a very high-tech operation going on, as you can tell by our freezing Zoom. But we have a lot of fun and we love it. And
yeah, that's what matters.
There you go. So today we have a little shop talk with the Sams because unfortunately our guest had something come up. So we're sending all the positive light and energy her way so that everything works out and is okay. Hashtag pandemic. No. Everything's fine. It's not the pandemic. It's not COVID.
Just kidding.
It's not COVID. It's just, I feel like now when anything happens, it has to do with the pandemic or quarantine. Oh, goodness. I tell you. So real quickly, I want to go through a few. First of all, I want to acknowledge the land whose land we're on, which is the Tongva people. Both Sam and I are on Tongva land. And I also learned when I was looking up where Sam is, that they're also known as the Gabrielinos. So I didn't know that. That's my little thing. So acknowledge their land today. So for our announcements, I know this is going to come as a big surprise to everyone. The Markham masks are coming up.
Ooh.
I know. I hope everyone got their RSVP in. So make sure it's on August 15th at 5 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. And to RSVP, send a little email to VP, V as in Victor, P as in Paul, VP at kentwoodplayers.org. And they will set you up. And just say how many people will be watching on your stream. We're just trying to kind of get a rough estimate of how many are attending. I'm excited for the Markham masks. Are you excited?
I'm super excited. Last year's Markham's was the first one I attended, and it was a lot of fun. So even though this one's in a little different of a format, I think it's going to be just as fun because musical parodies are always like my favorite part, and Kat does such a great job with them. And
she does.
So I think it's going to be really great this year too.
She does. She is hysterical, and so it's always really fun to watch what happens. And then it's also really exciting to remember all the shows we did in the year and to think about everybody's performances and the sets and the sound designs and lighting designs and costume designs and everything. It's just so exciting. This one's even going to be weirder.
With this one, we can kind of like save it for prosperity and archival purposes, and in a way we can't really do it. That's live. So that's fun.
We can't. Well, I recorded the last one.
Oh.
It's not like it was a secret. There was a giant tripod in the middle of the room.
Are you sure? I thought it was a secret. That's why I didn't want to tell anybody.
Yeah, I was like, ignore the tripod. It's just there, not recording it. But yeah, I think it's important to have.
I just said.
What?
Ignore everything I just said.
I think it's important to have an archival copy. So I think that you're absolutely right. This is really fun to look back and think, oh, remember when we were in quarantine? That was fun. So, but I'm excited. And then after the Markham Mask Awards, we are going to have the after party hosted by Mama Lou Soul and Ima Hotmas. So that is going to be really fun. They're two of my favorites, I'm not going to lie. I'm looking forward to what they'll have cooked up for us. I'm really looking forward to that. So that will start directly after, about 30 minutes after the awards. So you'll want to stay tuned for that after you watch the awards. And that will be for all of the winners to be able to thank people and to give a quick blurb about their experience in the show, which is really fun. And then don't forget, I don't know if the deadline for Coach Susie's classes has passed. So I need to look that up. But if you want more information,
I need to look that up. Yeah.
I know. If you don't want, if you want information, email marketing@kentwoodplayers.org. If it has passed, I will definitely pass on your information if you'd like. And Suzanne can reach out to you about other stuff she'll have coming up. So that is exciting. And also we've got the KP New Play series, and that is starting in 1 month.
Oh my gosh, that's so soon.
I know. Sam, tell us about the KP New Play series. What do they need to apply for that?
So they are looking for a short form play. They want maximum to be 30 minutes. Usually they want around 10 to 15 minutes, but you can go up to 30 if you like. It has to be written to be performed on the Zoom platform. It doesn't have to be about Zoom or about the pandemic or about quarantine. It just needs to be able to be performed through Zoom. And we are having a 6-character maximum, I believe. And if you would like to if you'd like to submit your script, hold on, I'm gonna get the email up.
It's at Plays.
Plays at kentwoodplayers.org. Okay, great.
Plays.
I was doing all of that from memory, so that was more than I thought I remembered.
That was amazing. You remember everything. I will say, for an example, if you're looking for a little inspiration, if you're like, oh, what do I do for Zoom that's not based on pandemic or quarantine? You could do like an adaptation of Cats in space, and maybe they have to be on the screens.
For example,
I'm not letting that go. I want to do Space Cats really bad.
Who suggested Space Cats? Was that Nico?
Was it Nico?
I think it was Nico.
It might have been Nico. I want to say a really quick shout out and hello to Dwayne Phelps, all the way in Oklahoma. Hi, Dwayne. He's producing a movie that I'm in that we are on hold because #pandemic. I'll tell you what. I know. So hi. Let's see. But the KP New Play series, I'm really excited about it. We're going to get a bunch of original works in there. If you do have something that is more than 6 characters and you just feel really strongly about it, email marketing, pitch it to us, and then maybe we can find a director that wants to tackle the technical challenges of more than 6 people, which it's possible. But I'm really excited to see these new works, and that will start in September, and we'll just start airing them monthly.
Yeah.
Yay! I'm looking forward to it. And then Good People is Sunday. This
Torrance
Sunday.
Theater Company.
Torrance Theater Company this Sunday, the 9th at 8 p.m. RSVP. Get your slot.
Oh, I thought it was at 6 p.m.
I have 8 p.m. Super professional show, you guys. Check on the website, Torrance Theater, or their Facebook.
I'll look
just
it
to
up
double
on
check.
Keep announcing.
Thank you. And then our last announcement, I'm really excited. Kelsey, oh my gosh. Weinstein, thank you. Anyway, Kelsey Weinstein, who was on our show a few weeks ago, she has a production company called Little Renegades Productions, and they are doing She Kills Monsters Virtual Realms. I'm excited about that.
I'm really excited about it too.
I know someone in it.
Because I'm in it. Yeah, I'm excited about it.
The Sam's in it.
Good People is at 6 p.m.
It's at 6. I'm changing my notes right now and my calendar entry. He, believe Sam, he knows. So 6 p.m. for Good People. And She Kills Monsters, we'll get that date and time for you as soon as we get it. So I'm
It'll
excited.
be around late September, but we'll get
Okay. And that'll be on Zoom. So don't worry, we're not waiting for a pandemic.
Definitely.
So that leads us to our topic for today, our shop talk.
Yes, what a great segue, Sam.
Thanks. We're talking about Zoom theater because I don't know about you, and I don't know about all you all out there, but when we hit pandemic in March, I think, I think some of us thought, oh, we'll be back by September.
I thought we were going to be back by May.
You thought we were going to be back by May. Some people thought September. Some people thought we'd come back like mid-summer, but we could open Vanya up in September.
Yeah.
It is not looking like that is going to be the case, obviously. So a lot of theaters have been doing Zoom theater.
Including us.
Including us. I have been in a show, and we're talking a show, not just a reading. People are reading from scripts on Zoom, but a rehearsed show. We did have our scripts, but we were referencing and really focused. Because let me just tell you, Romeo and Juliet has 8 endings, and Romeo and Juliet Choose Your Own Ending has 8 endings. It would be a lot to memorize for 2 performances. I wanted to talk about our experiences being in Zoom theater and watching Zoom theater. Before we get too involved, I want to give a shout out to my dear friend Todd Hanlon. Hi, honey. I'm giving you a little elbow. That's a little inside joke because that's one of my riffraffs. And Todd is in complete support of Space Cats. So I just wanted to point that out.
Stop enabling her.
Don't listen to him. We're writing Space Cats. That is going to happen, and I will let you know when that will be airing, so you all can come see it.
I will only do it if I'm Mr. Masopoulos.
No argument for me. But let's talk about what has been our experience watching Zoom theater. Have you watched a lot of Zoom theater, Sam?
I think so far the only thing I've watched, I thought I had watched 2 shows. I think the only thing I've actually seen is your production of Romeo and Juliet Choose Your Own Ending. And I actually wanted to talk about that because I think my hesitation up until then with Zoom theater was that I felt that most production companies were just doing a play and putting it on Zoom, which is fine, it's good, but I didn't feel that was enough for me to want to watch something on Zoom. I feel like I needed something that was going to use the platform the way that it's designed in a way that I wouldn't be able to get watching it in person. Felt that Romeo...
I'm sorry, I was just going to ask for clarification. When you say they were doing a play and doing it on Zoom, just reading lines on Zoom with feeling, reading lines with feeling rather. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like Romeo and Juliet Choose Your Own Ending really used the Zoom platform to its advantage, which I want to get back to in a second, but they used breakout rooms to put people with different characters so that the audience can interact with them and give them options on how to make the story progress. They put polls on the screen so that you could answer it. I thought it was a really great. Also, on the chat on the side, the characters would occasionally send a chat to everybody in character, and it was hysterical. And I think that was such a good production and showed me, wow, theater can maybe exist on Zoom because it really used it in a way that was intuitive. And I think right now people are looking at Zoom, or in the future, if we ever have to use masks or social distancing, God forbid, people are looking at that as hindrances instead of looking at, okay, what kind of story can we tell using what we have? You know, I feel that your production of Romeo and Juliet said, okay, we're going to use what we have and use it to our advantage instead of looking at it as a disadvantage, if that makes sense. Absolutely. And that was something that Branda Locke, who was on here a few weeks ago, that was something that was really important to her, was that it was not just a reading with people in these little boxes, but that we were actually using the features of Zoom to our advantage. She looked at it like that. This is an opportunity that we're not going to get
there are things we can do that you can't do in live theater. And so we tried to look at it as a positive.
Right. And there's fight choreo in that production. And I thought that the way that they did it with using sound effects with their own voices was hysterical. And they played it as realistically as they could. I don't really think that they hammed it up any just because, oh, it's Zoom. Like, they tried to play it as real as possible, which I thought made it funnier, you know?
Yeah. So. And I will say, look, let's be real here. I mean, we were not doing an actual production of Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. The show itself, Romeo and Juliet, Choose Your Own Ending, is camped up. It is written it's modernized slightly in some of the prose vernacular. And I mean, they really the authors, the playwrights have a like just brilliant understanding of Shakespeare language. And they took some of the wording that is so obscure and they made it a little bit more tangible for our day and age, which is great. So it's already it's already camped up a bit, which I think allows us to, do a fight scene with ching, ching, like whatever, So, and the breakout rooms, that was a great use of Zoom. But there is a part in Romeo and Juliet, Choose Your Own Ending, where the audience is getting involved and is participating. And so, that was a great use of Zoom to do that. But not every show has an audience interaction.
Audience participation.
Yeah. So
I feel that one of the advantages of using Zoom during this time is that because I'm about to be involved in a Zoom production, I realized I'm reaching out to across the country to watch my show who haven't been able to see my shows in the past 2 years. Now they can watch my show because it's on Zoom. And even though I would rather do it in person, I also love that they can watch it, even though they're 1,000 miles away.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think too, it's a little bit different than like recording or showing a recording of a live theater piece on stage.
They're there.
Right. And it's still live. And the second show, we could hear the audience more. We could hear their laughter. So we had to hold for laughter, just like you do on the stage. We could hear, all their reactions, applause, whatever. And I think that adds something that's huge. As for an actor, we thrive on how it's landing with our audience. So I think that's really important. But I do think I would like to try. I've got a couple pieces in mind. I think that this could work with not just comedy. I think we can find pieces that can work in this structure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's a challenge, but it's a challenge we're going to have for at least a year.
Right.
I know, but I think
we'll just have to see. It's not forever.
It's not forever. We're going to get through it. We'll be back. The curtain will rise again. And also, I just want to say really quickly for anybody watching us live, if you want to comment on your experiences, either watching Zoom theater or participating in Zoom theater, if you have any questions about it, please feel free to participate during all of this because we want to hear your feedback. And also, if you're not watching live and you're watching this as a recording, also feel free to comment and ask questions because we do review them and we will get back to you and we can give you more information. But I know for me, I'm also really curious to hear other people's feedback from other shows that they've watched and been in. I think it's really important. A friend of mine watched a production of Lungs on Zoom, and she thought it was brilliant. And they did it in a very interesting way. It's a 2-person show, and they did it live in a theater, socially distanced. They were not wearing masks, but they were social distanced.
I mean, some of my friends like director friends have wanted to do 2-person shows socially distanced.
Yeah.
Like that. And I think that's a interesting.
I do too.
I think it's a great idea. I mean, for what we're dealing with right now,
Yeah.
Um,
Now, I think it poses a little bit of a problem because you have to have good cameras and you have to have good sound,
absolutely.
you know,
And good internet.
and good, yes. Yes, very good internet.
That's one of my biggest fears is I'm doing a play reading this weekend. And one of my biggest fears is, oh my God, what if my internet craps out right before? And I'm like,
Yeah. We did have we had a couple moments during R&J where we had a few lags and there had to be a little bit of improv to kind of get through that. Yeah. But again, it's a show that lends itself to that. We also had a couple times, there was one time where they're at the Capulet party and they're all dancing and somebody accidentally, an audience member, turned on their video. So Mercutio was like, "Hey, Michael, dance with us!" Like they were like, and the audience member was like, "Okay," and like started dancing. It was really funny, just for a split second, and then the moderator had the video turn the video off. But yeah, I mean, it's live theater, so we have every person we've interviewed. We've asked them a debacle story, and we've had a bunch. You never know what's going to happen, and I think. So what? Someone's video comes on. That's the same thing as if, like, a flat falls on somebody in the middle of a production, or they fall off stage, like Dylan. Or that was Dylan, right? Who fell off the stage?
That was Dylan. He fell into the orchestra pit.
I was glad I was watching the recording because I laughed out loud and then felt real bad.
Because I was the one interviewing him. I didn't know that he got caught, so I was like, "What happened?"
Oh, that was the best part was when he says he got caught and then just put back on stage. That's where I was laughing. But yeah, but going back to Zoom theater, I think that it doesn't have to be perfect. It's not film. It's still theater. So we can have these little things.
Right.
The other thing I think people have to get used to is if we are going to do audience reactions, having audience reactions, because sometimes people will be like, "Mute yourself." We'd hear audience members saying, "Mute yourself," and we're like, "No, we want to hear it." And I think it's like, yes, mute if somebody in your house is talking or a baby crying or a dog barking or whatever, but if it's just laughter or reactions to the actual show, bring it. Did you find it distracting if you heard somebody laughing or making a comment?
I think the only thing I found distracting about it was that their name comes up on the top.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I know exactly who's laughing right now.
Yeah.
I think personally for me it was a little bit distracting. Maybe we can figure something out to get past that. I don't know if other people have a problem with it. If other people don't have a problem with it, then no, it's not a make or break for me.
It might be something we get used to as we do more of these.
Maybe.
I also wanted to say I like the chat feature. And I did find that very fun.
I loved that. I didn't think that would even be a thing, and it was hysterical.
Yeah. Did
y'all write that? Was that just like kind of improv in the chat?
Or? Totally improv.
It was great. It was awesome.
Totally improv. We also, but so for the people that are watching, we would chat with audience members if audience members were chatting. And we started as they were coming in. Some of us would say, I played the friar, and so I would say, some little welcome and tell me everything, confess your sins, whatever, like we would do these little things. Mercutio invited everybody to the party. It was just really fun. But then while the show was going, if we would interact with the audience, we would also interact with each other. So we would have little battles with each other, and that, like, we had a Montague Capulet battle going on in chat, which was really amusing. And then second show, we had people in the chat actually putting out what they wanted people to choose.
Yeah.
So, which was really funny. Yeah. Like everybody was in the first show, they chose Juliet. Oh, I don't want to say who the choices are. Just in case we do it again. Anyway.
What do you mean?
What? Anyway, everyone was like, choose this. It was really fun. It was really cute. So Todd, my dear friend Todd, love you, honey. He says his friend Amanda did a 1950s radio show on YouTube with someone doing the sound effects, several shows, so they were all unique. I love that. That's a great idea.
Good idea.
That's a great idea. Let's bring back the radio shows of old. And I love the idea. So I did a play version of It's a Wonderful Life done as a radio show. Which reminded me of that Frasier episode where he's on the radio show and everything's going wrong. It's hysterical. If you haven't seen it. If you have not seen it, Google it. I'm sure it's on YouTube. Okay. Anyway, so basically we're doing a play. We're doing the radio show of It's a Wonderful Life, but we are characters within this, like, we are not ourselves. We're also actors playing. It's very funny. Anyway, and so it was really interesting to watch the Foley that was happening because we had live Foley for our radio show.
Oh, nice.
You could see them doing it. And then you could see us as we would go up and play different characters, or I'd play Mary. So I'd play young Mary, and then as she aged. So
you were playing every age?
Yeah. And then some other characters, little incidentals there. Patty, my dear friend Patty, was in the show as well. And she had I don't know how many characters, but all the different voices for all of them, all the different ages. She played some of the young children. It was amazing. But that's really fun to watch. People, how they get into their different characters and because I think when we're just listening to a radio show or thinking about animation, we're invested in the story.
Right.
So it's kind of fun to watch the different. My mom was doing a voiceover for animation the other day, and she used to be driving a race car, and so she's sitting in the. I love when my mom has auditions. I really want to start recording, the entire thing process. Anyway, so she's in there, and then she starts going like this.
As she's driving. Oh my god.
Preparing for the audition, but I have to tell you something. This is a note to everybody. When she said her first line, which is she's supposed to cut somebody out, swoop by them in this race, and then yells back to them, it was 150% perfect. That take, I was like, that's it, done, that's it. Sign, we're good. It was so perfect. But I mean, it's funny to watch. What are the things people do to get an animation or their radio show? That was a great comment, Todd. Thank you. I love that. Also, I want to put a shout out. If anybody has something going on like that, Todd, if your friend is doing it again, your friend Amanda, hello Amanda, shout out to Amanda, let us know, because I would love to check that out. And that's like you were saying, Sam, that's super cool. Benefit of Zoom or YouTube is that we can be anywhere and watch these shows. That's it. Super cool. Yay. Well, we should probably wrap up here.
Yeah, sure. How do we do that? Bye.
Tell our favorite debacle story. I have no Zoom debacle stories other than...
I don't think I have any Zoom debacle stories.
I have no Zoom.
I have other debacle stories. I have plenty of debacle stories.
Me too. We'll be here all night. I will say I had one Zoom. It didn't end up being a debacle, but I was afraid. And that was every once in a while in Romeo and Juliet Choose Your Own Ending, my sound would go out on the other person. And I was having a scene with Juliet. And I'm glancing at my line, and I happened to just she wasn't speaking. And I looked down to see why she wasn't speaking, and she was speaking. And thank heavens I could read her lips, because then I just said my next line when I thought it looked like she was done talking. And nobody knew. No one was the wiser.
Perfect.
But yeah, I couldn't hear what she was saying.
Gosh.
Thank goodness she was saying the correct line.
That's good.
That could
Because
be awkward. So I saved a debacle. That's the
did the
closest.
sound never come back? I mean, like, how
Yeah.
soon did the sound come back?
Almost instantly.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have any Zoom debacle stories. I haven't done a Zoom performance yet, although I am soon. I can say a non-Zoom debacle story that I just thought it wasn't really a debacle. It was like an almost debacle like yours.
Okay. What's your almost debacle?
So I was doing Little Mermaid at Kentwood actually, and the way we did it was a scene in Ursula's lair. So some of the ensemble put these flats up,
Oh,
like on the hooks, to like make it look like Ursula's lair. There was one.
I just
night-
want to like give a little context for this. They had a set, and then they would flats that moved in and out, and
Yeah,
then they
slider.
would put an additional flat on top of some of those flats to
Yeah.
create yet another set. So they had like 4 or 5 different sets they could do. All right,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Thank you for that context because I always forget to give context.
Yeah, you're fine. You're fine.
Anyway, so they put the flat up, but the problem was over the slider was a like curtain to signify that they were at the like Prince Eric's castle or whatever. Or no, it was King Triton's castle, I think. And the nails were kind of like underneath the curtain. That wasn't bad. And ignore that.
The nails for the new flat that had to go up.
Yeah. And you could put it under the curtain. Like, it was fine if the curtain was there. But the problem was, I think it honestly might have been me. Whoever put it up, I think it might have been me. Whoever put it up, we couldn't get it over the nails. So the lights were coming up and we just had to put it on the ground and go. We were scared that entire climax scene that it was just going to fall over on or in Kim and that humongous awesome Ursula costume or onto the shell or onto Lindsay as Ariel. It was nail biting the whole time, but luckily nothing happened. But we swooped in and got it immediately after, but we were so worried it was going to fall over because I swear it was just going to slip.
My favorite would have been, if it had just been like it's laying there at that angle, if it would have just been like that slow. That would have been the best. I mean, not during the show, but real funny after.
Hysterical after.
Yeah. Yay. I love debacle stories. I don't know why. Well, you all, what'd you say?
I said they're funny.
They are funny. They are. Well, y'all, thank you so much for joining us. So we talk a little Zoom shop, and I hope that you find some time to watch a little Zoom theater, support your artists that are out there. We have to create. It is in our DNA.
Absolutely.
Right. So please support your friends and family and strangers that are doing Zoom theater. Participate. Usually it's by donation, if anything. I've not seen anything that's actual a ticket price. So usually it's by donation. So, artists are always struggling to get audiences and to stay afloat. So this is especially during pandemic, and we are going to be one of the last jobs to come back are going to be artists. And theater artists, live performance artists. So any help you can give to anybody, not just Kentwood, but yes, obviously Kentwood, but, just support your artists and your local artists and support them also, not just financially, but with your attention and, and patience and understanding, because this is new for all of us.
I'll put my Venmo in the description if you want to. I'm joking, I won't.
Yes, that works too. But this is new for all of us. So be patient with us and come in with like the best of expectations or, like easy expectations and just have a good time. That's my advice for watching Zoom theater and participating in Zoom theater. Just have fun. It's called a play for a reason. So
yeah. I think the story is always going to be the most important part. And if the story is told well, it's going to be a good production, no matter how it's told.
That's true. You're absolutely right. That's the thing we look at to begin with. That's the most important part. Yay. Thanks, Sam. Thanks for chatting.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you for chatting.
Yay. All right. And don't forget, this Sunday we are not here because we're watching Good People at Torrance Theater. Yay. Hi, Dawn. Hi, Mel. I don't know who else is in that show, but hi.
My friend Jonathan is in it.
Hi, Jonathan. And we will be back next Thursday with Glory, who's on our marketing committee and wonderful actress. And we're excited to spend time with her as well. Yay. All right. See y'all.